So I've asked Jimmy Wales here to explain to me the impact of the deletion of the IHT.com links, both on Wikipedia and more generally. What is the impact that this is going to have on the Wikipedia?
Well, in the Wikipedia world, one of the things that our community really relies on is having stable links for the long term. The community puts a lot of work, a lot of effort into finding good sources like the IHT or the New York Times to back up what it is they're writing about. When they break those links, all of a sudden, it kind of causes a huge turmoil, because all of a sudden people, they write some fact and they put a link to the IHT to back it up. That link is broken. Well, here's what the real long-term impact is. The community is going to go through and remove all those links because they're not trustworthy anymore, and they either have to take out the information, which of course they really hate to do since it did have a valid source at one point. What they're going to do is they're going to go and hunt for other sources. They can go to the BBC or the Wall Street Journal or Washington Post.
There were 9,450 links to the IHT website. How does that rank in terms of amount?
So I'm not sure in terms of the ranking. I'm sure it's in the top 10 or top 20.
So the IHT is one of the top 10 reference sites on the Wikipedia, and they've just removed all of those links.
Yes. I'm not so sure about that ranking, but it must be quite high. I mean, 9,000's you don't get that to a little local website. I mean, the IHT, because of its association with the New York Times, considered to be the European sister of the New York Times, it's considered to be one of the best sources, and it's the kind of thing that you would think that they would be sort of smart enough to not break all the links. It's kind of dumb.
So what should the New York Times do?
Well, they really need to get that stuff restored quickly, and they need to make sure that all the old links, even if they need to redirect to a new website, of course, technology changes, branding changes, they just need to make sure that when I click on a link that says, here's a Thomas Crampton story from 3 years ago that proves my point, that in fact it goes to that story, and it can be on a New York Times branded page or moved, but that movement, it has to work, and that's really trivial from a technological
But can't they just go to an archival page where people can look it up?
No. See, that won't do, because when somebody is trying to reference a particular fact, what we would really prefer, what would be really fabulous, is to have paragraph level citability with hashtags. That could be done too, so when I click I can go to the actual paragraph that supports. Even if you don't have that, you need to at least be able to go to that article. If you click and you say, oh, it's somewhere at the IHT website, that's not good. That we might as well just say, oh, I found it in the New York Times. It's a classic scholarly principle, right? That if you're going to use sources and use good quality sources, you need to give specific information about where somebody can find it so that they can check it for themselves. Sort of linking to a general search page. No, you might as well say, there's people living on Mars and I can prove it. Here's a link to Google. Just go search in Google, you'll find it. That doesn't prove anything. We really want a link to a good story and a good newspaper that we can count on.
Okay, and with this, I mean, what kind of a mistake would you characterize this as being?
Well, when it first happened, if somebody's in the process of merging two websites and so on, and it's just an error, you think, oh, it's just a bonehead webmaster error. But if it takes a month, I would say that's a bonehead management error. At some point, it falls into the category of somebody somewhere didn't put priority in doing this the right way, and that's pretty stupid.
But it's still savable.
It's savable. It's savable. They need to fix these links quickly, because I'm sure, I haven't checked, I've been traveling the last couple of days, I'm sure that the number of links to the IHT in Wikipedia is probably dropping very, very quickly, and those won't come back overnight. That's organic stuff. People are going to be really annoyed that this happened.
So to make it clear that you're saying that you're calling the New York Times to make a statement.
Yeah, the New York Times should fix the problem, and then they should really make a company policy statement. They should say, look, to whatever extent possible, and of course you can't promise anything, especially in the newspaper business these days, to whatever extent possible, we believe in stable URLs. We believe if you link to the New York Times as a blogger, as a Wikipedian, as another journalist at another newspaper, or even internally, if you make a link, then as much as possible, we're going to always make sure that link goes to what you link to, because that's something that you're going to rely on. It's only good business sense too, because they want traffic to sell advertising. They should make a statement.
Okay, excellent.